Hello and welcome to Sage Thyme. Today's reading is for the sign of Cancer, be it your sun, your house, your planetary and aspects, knowing that however it resonates for you is how it is meant for you and your interpretation. So welcome, let's get started on today's Cancer reading. I am going to begin the reading with first an animal spirit guide for the sign of Cancer. This is from the Jody Bergsma Oracle deck. And then, we'll just start with this. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. I'm really liking the spread that came out for you today. There we go. And so many messages as always. We'll see how it comes through. I will review the two overall cards, the Spirit Messenger card and the other card I'm about to pull more in the extended video. But to start with, here is your Spirit Messenger, Cancer. You have the Hawk Messenger. There we go. It's a beautiful card. It says, Spirit is sending you messages. Open your greater vision to see the signs, focus on priorities, and eliminate distractions. You have a bright future. Let yourself ascend to new heights. This is such an epically perfect spirit guide for the messages that are coming through today. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that wants to deliver itself more throughout your messages. Now for the Sacred Earth Oracle deck. All right, these have been, they've been pre-shuffled. So let's see what card, and again, I'll review the more extended, long version of the messages in the extended video, which will be on Vimeo. You'll find the link to the extended in the description box down below. Okay, so I'm going to take the wisdom of the Hawk Messenger and ground myself, Spirit. There we go. Oh, I love that. Okay, 1 second. My table situation is different. So here you have the card renewal. And I'll start putting these overall because I know I can't pull it up close to the camera working with the new system. But I'll put these cards in the thumbnail so you can get a nice close look at the detail and meditate on it. See what comes through in your own divination practice, which again, that is a lot of the message that's coming through. And I feel like there are steps that are being offered in a way, steps or points of note to apply to have better efficiency in tuning into your higher self, your higher aspect, spirit, God, source, the force, Allah, however you say it, and feel it. That is right for you, of course. This first card being repairing the veil. And as soon as it flew out, I heard mend your fences, loud and clear. And I didn't even realize until a few minutes before hitting the record button that the keyword underneath says forgiveness. And that is, it goes right alongside with repairing, mending your fences. There are so many things about this card that stand out. There's a bit of an electric weave that's going with the ribbony weave between what I would consider as the common reality and then this kind of cosmic, there's stars that can be peered at through what's being woven together. So there's this dual aspect of a kundalini electric charge trying to be, it's scattered, it's not as fluid as it could be, right? And that is a part of the language that is used when it's spoken about being in clean and clear and strong alignment and communication with our higher aspects, and allowing that to move through us more than our human thinking mind and our body's emotional memory. And so the wisdom that's coming through for you today, Cancer and Cancer friends, is this is an important and an essential aspect to improve your communication and directing navigation, movement, experience as a vehicle for spirit, as a vehicle for your higher consciousness. And I do not mean to, by any means, I'm sure many of you have done forgiveness work over and over and over again, and most likely have an incredible establishment of that. This is talking about the natural tendency of the human to block out energetic influences from others that are penetrating our field or surrounding our field or within our field, and we're either in a state of compartmentalizing dissociation because it's uncomfortable if we've got people who are thinking of us, or we just passed as we were getting the mail from the mail person, at the grocery line, any of the ways of encountering people, a phone call, even watching a video of someone, their energetic influence can affect us and does affect us. And I have found that blocking it, pushing it out in a way, while that works to a certain degree, it only works for so long. And sorry, I got distracted. It only works for so long and only to a certain level. It's when we're able to, I don't want to say allow it in, because I don't want people to start opening up their boundaries and barriers and then just get pummeled. But there is something to reconciling it, and that requires acknowledging it, feeling it, knowing it's there, and so forth. And the next card that comes through with that is a tidy house. Oops, I forgot about that. Clarity and organization is the subtitle. So all of you probably recognize that, and I feel like you're recognizing more and more that having not just an organized home and a clean home, but also having fewer things in your home, in your space, allows for a cleaner field. It's that within and without within sort of thing. And I've noticed that when I have another person or people's energetic influence more strongly being focused in my field, all of a sudden it feels impossible to be organized and keep my dishes clean, and I start dropping things. Have you noticed that? Have you been noticing things like you're stumbling and dropping things more? And it's not so much clumsy, it's more like, it's almost like it's being knocked out of your hand, or things are falling. Those are the types of signs, or they're just not matching up. There's not that synastry and symmetry to your movement in your day. And sometimes it can get so strong. I wonder if you're feeling a bit of a hunkering down, or you know what I'm talking about. And for those that have stronger abilities to create stronger boundaries, those boundaries get pushed harder and harder. But then, of course, as the old adage goes, fences and walls aren't necessarily only meant to keep others out. It also imprisons us within. So there are things that are lost and missed out on that are part of not just the human experience, but our human and spiritual development. So I'm also being drawn to this idea of, on this tidy house, I don't know if you can see it, but there's all these different segmented little houses on top of each other and on different branches of this tree. And in all of these, there's several doors. And something was coming through about Yes. It's like, it's part of that fence and wall boundary barrier concept. When you open the door to something, there's just this bombastic blasting of somebody else's energetic field. Maybe you feel that when you open up into meditation or try to open up into your creative experience, or do something that maybe you've at this point told yourself you don't want to do anymore, or don't need to do, but it really is something that is essential, or something that you really desire to have. And that can be things like going on road trips, or having more abundance in your life, opening up to a more fully expressed, potent and powerful love connection in your already existing, or one coming in. These are the types of things that our boundaries, our fences and our walls prevent coming in. So really it's more about the message coming through is your guides want you to fortify and clear out and cleanse, but not in a way of bleaching and pressure washing everybody's energetic fields out. Because that, it's like, have you ever pressure washed an area on a path, and it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe the lawn or something, or there's barriers along your pathway, and every time you pressure, like, you have to work 10 times harder because the water gets kept, and as soon as you stop pressure washing, it flows back, and a bunch of that dirt and muck comes back in your field. Or pressure washing an incoming tide. I mean, really, that just doesn't make any sense, right? But we have been told that boundaries and barriers are essential. And while that is true, I think there's a misunderstanding of what that means. And so Spirit is coming through with this wonderful message, and it's really clarifying it with this next card, the Horseman. Horseman, yeah. Herald of Change is the subtitle. And on this, you can see the figure on the horse. They have all these, there's this gorgeous light behind them that's trying to really, like, behind you, it's trying to come through, you know, that spinal kundalini area and blast out from your whole being and really become an entire part of this picture. And additionally, he has these threads and ribbons of light that they are dancing with, and they have this, it feels like a potential to do even more with, I mean, of course, like always, but they're pulling these threads of life in this kind of weaving and working with the energetic streams. But they have the energetic streams they're working with are light and clean and clear, and they're creating this billowing, almost wing-like air stream behind them that's gorgeous. It's a way of weaving with the light of the divine, so to speak, and creating your own pattern. But it's got to be cleared of what else is going on with others around. And so something that I was just hearing, that I want to bring it back in. It's tucking away, because let's say it's just one person for ease. It's always going to be several, but sometimes we have one or a handful of individuals that have a focus on us. Either, you know, there'll be people who admire and are inspired. Maybe you're a muse to some, and there'll be people who are projecting their wounds onto you. Something you did or said resembled something that is a deep wound within them. Whether you meant to or not, whether it was appropriate or not, it was something that got their attention, and now there's this laser focus. And that's coming here through with eagle eye. And this eagle's just got this monocle in his eyes, and it's just a keen, even if they're not even conscious of it, it's just a keen laser focus on you. And pushing back doesn't work. But I'll tell you what does work. My hair is having it has a moment. When we connect with the human individual, what we run into is the conscious mind, which can be a mess just as much as it can be more clean and clear or absent and dissociated, but we're also coming in contact with the subconscious and unconscious thinking mind. Additionally, we're coming into contact with their emotional body, the emotions that are stored and reverberated with each and every individual cell and throughout the entire unit of the body. You know, we're a conglomerate of conglomerations and cells, and they all come together and orchestrate, and they're sending a big, huge message, and they also have a lot of individual messages, like individual instruments in an orchestra. So when we connect with the human being, we're entering that field of a whole lot of stuff. It's like a big alphabet soup mixed with goulash, mixed with, I don't know, shepherd's pie and chocolate eclairs. It can be gross when it all comes together like that, and it's messy and it's hard to differentiate. But here's the key. If you've been working on, which many of you have really been working on, your practice of stillness, silencing the mind, entering your own energetic field and connecting with your higher self, I feel like you've done that and started to recognize you can link with your higher aspect and have that higher aspect then link with another person's higher aspect, their higher selves. And that's when the clean and clear communication can occur. Not only can you, through your higher aspect, communicate with the others in a way that says, thank you. And compassion, I feel compassion. When we're in that space, there's nothing less than compassion and observation, because there's a total detachment of, it's not detachment, there is a total unification and cleansing of emotions and thoughts. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, and you are working this practice more and more, you quickly will. So connecting with that, getting in that clean and clear space, which is just, you know, it's all love. It's that purity of, I don't want to say oneness, it's different. It's almost just a void matched with this pure clarity and love. And here you are able to communicate from your higher aspect self with the other and say to them the truth of how you feel. And that will always be compassion. It will always be love. And in that conversation, you'll start to get images, thoughts, and ideas of maybe what you did do. I think we got some garbage truck stuff going on out there. But you'll start receiving information about what you may have done and just didn't see, and how that affected. And there won't be this need of defending yourself or or any of that, because you're, again, in your state of higher self, and they are as well. And so when that communication starts coming in, there is a healing and a witnessing and a healing and a clearing. Not because it's your job, but because it's everybody's job. And it's a dual experience. And so doing that then allows you to create a completion. Generally, I would say probably always, there is a contract on your end of something to learn and grow from, just as much as theirs. And you may or may not get an idea of what theirs is. It's may or may not be your business, but it'll show up if it is for you to know and understand and learn from as well. So then, as that completes, there'll be this welling and emergence, forgive the noise, of forgiveness. And not the kind of forgiveness, well, yes, you'll feel it. There'll be that forgiveness. Most often more so for yourself, for not knowing and not seeing. And then it just automatically occurs for the other person. And as that starts occurring, then finally there's this incredible gratitude. And a gratitude that says, that feels in every way appreciative that that other person came into your life, presented challenges that you did or didn't know you were dealing with. Sometimes it's obvious, of course, you see them on a regular basis, and it'll be a reoccurring thing. As you're getting more sensitive and tuned in, you don't need to even be around them to know who's affecting you and whose field is. And of course, like all things, there's a polarity. So there's a positive charge and a negative charge. And I don't mean by that one person's more positive and the other person's negative, or one person's better and the other person's worse. It's simply two opposing charges, two pieces of a puzzle made to fit each other. And there is this incredible gratitude at that recognition. And so again, still in that state of vertical connection, you can say to the other as their higher self, thank you, and I am complete. And there's a release. You can say that, of course, then too, but that a release occurs and the completion is done. And that cycle of patterning, habit, whatever it is, influence, limitation, it's complete. And I feel like Cancer right now, it's interesting because your energy feels so cool and calm and really quite serene. And outside and around you, I feel this kind of a dirty fire. And it's not because you're one and they're the other entirely, although that is what's coming in and influencing, but there's more to it. If you look within deeper and deeper into the greater intentions of that cool and calm serenity, is it fully pure? Is it a modus operatum to keep yourself safe that is denying aspects within you deep down that have that dirty fire kind of match and reflection, or dirty water, pull and attraction kind of thing. And I feel like I'm concerned. I keep hesitating using these words because I know that oftentimes they can be heard and felt in a more weaponized way, or a self-shaming or projecting shame or better thans and hubris and all of that. That's not it at all. This is all about recognizing the truth, the radical truth, radical honesty, right? We hear that phrase. And when we're able to do that in a way that is truly in pursuit and earnest desire to become more and be better as a whole, as a self, and experience life at its absolute most optimum possibility, then we know that that's a part of being able to sit comfortably in our own our own muck, and go, yeah, okay, yeah, oh, thank goodness. That's such a relief to see that about myself. Right? Remember, no dirty waters, no lotus flower. When you think about all the beauty that everything that is involved with the lotus flower, its layers, its strength, its color, its metaphoric symbolism in all the different ways. But what makes the lotus that is that it drops its roots deep down. It digs them deep into the dirtiest of water, right? Into the muck at the bottom of the pond. So that is, and the lotus doesn't need to feel ashamed that its beauty comes from being able to sift through and be present with the ick and the gross. It knows it's part of it, right? And it's important and it has value. So there's reverence and appreciation there too. So I'm gonna pause here and move over to the extended on Vimeo. Again, the link is in the box below. I'll pull a few more cards. we'll go over the Sacred Earth Oracle and go in detail a bit more about the Hawk Messenger. So I look forward to seeing you over there, Cancer. And for everybody else that won't be joining me over there, have a beautiful day. Thank you.